Welcome to the Sports Card Talk Show. Sports Card Talk Show with Kevin Anderson and Lauren Walker, the Skol Brothers.
Welcome to episode 56 of the Sports Card Talk Show. Little Friday Night Lights interview action going on tonight. Who are we going to be doing tonight?
At PSU Mike on YouTube, PSU Imler 30 on Instagram.
Yeah, that'll be cool. This is gonna be fun. We seen him comment on one of our videos, and I think we're like, hey, let's ask him.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how this all kind of came about, and he was nice enough to say, sure, I'll come on.
Yeah.
So should we get him on the line?
Ring-a-ling ding dong.
All right, we got Mike on the line, PSU Mike on YouTube and PSU Imler30 on Instagram. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, hey,
Thanks
Mike.
for having me, guys.
Yeah, awesome. We've been really enjoying your stuff, and I think we saw you comment on one of our shows, and we're like, hey, let's ask him.
That works for me.
Yeah, you were nice enough to come on. We're like, perfect.
Yep, I've been looking forward to this. It's good to get the perspective of different collectors and everything like that. And you guys, what you guys do is great for the community. So I've been looking forward to this and coming on and giving my side of the story.
Awesome.
Well, thanks, Mike.
Yeah, we appreciate it. So I thought you could maybe start with, I know Lauren and I, we were in collecting, out of collecting, and came back. I mean, kind of, how would that go for you? And was there a certain point that we were like, oh yeah, this is it, that I'm going to get started in this? Okay,
so growing up, I lived in a Penn State family. So of course, 1994 was the undefeated year that we got snubbed for the national championship game. We still played in the Rose Bowl that year. Great game. And after that year, I'm like, I want to start collecting cards. So it was Kerry Collins, Kajana Carter, Kyle Brady. So I collected for a year or two, and then started sports of my own by that time, because I think I was 5 or 6 when I started collecting. So then sports for me took over. And it wasn't until, I would say, 2005 or 2006. So it's been like every 10 years for me that I've been collecting. But that was with another Rose Bowl team. I believe it was the Michael Robinson era. So I started collecting again then. But by that time, I was able to look for cards like LeVar Arrington. And like that decade of period that I didn't collect, I could kind of go back and pick and choose, because I collect, doesn't matter the NFL team. I'm an Eagles fan, but my Penn State pride comes first and foremost. So it makes it easier for me, because I don't have to collect the one team over and over again. I get variety from my collecting, because I can just collect a bunch of different teams. Like, my collection looks haphazard, but if you look at as a Penn State or as a college fan, I can tell, okay, that's all from one college.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
A lot of people, when they ask me, like, who do you collect? It's Penn State players. Well, who are they? Because they're all over the league.
Yeah.
And then I got out of it a little bit again, and in 2016, I went to Walmart or Target, and I was like, you know what? I want to get some back into collecting. So I went and bought a blaster box. Now, from 1995 to 2005, 2006 to now, I hadn't collected for another 10 years. So I didn't realize how much the hobby had kind of changed. To know that there's a difference between retail and hobby and all that stuff. So I just thought, oh, wow, I can get these at Walmart now. So I got a blaster box looking for Christian Hackenberg stuff, because Penn Stater. Well, I didn't get anything, so I went to my LCS to see if they had anything different. I bought a pack of Donruss. One pack, so I think it was $4 or $5. That he charged me for it, which wasn't a bad price for a hobby pack at that point. And I pulled a Carson Wentz RPA. Not numbered or anything, but I was like, what is this? So immediately after that, I jumped back in the car with my buddy who lives locally here, and we drove back to the LCS. I bought the rest of the box that one had and the other box he had. And I was like, okay, I'm committed at this point. There's nothing I can do to stop now.
Oh, man.
Unfortunately, in that box, I pulled the second box, a Dak Prescott RPA.
Oh, wow.
But at the time, who's Dak Prescott?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the guy at the shop was like, I'll give you $40 for it. So I sold the card for $40 because why not?
Sure.
Little did I know, here we are. And the same thing happened for me in 2017. I bought a box of, I think, Score. And I took it to the place I was working at the time because my wife would have killed me if she found out I went and bought a box of cards. I started opening them on my office. My boss walked in. He collects a little bit too. But he's a Texas Tech fan. Well,
No.
I pulled a Patrick Mahomes rookie auto.
Yep.
Number 35. At the time, who's Patrick Mahomes?
Right.
Because Alex Smith was starting. So
Exactly.
he's like, I'm a Texas Tech fan. He's in his Texas Tech uniform. $30.
Oh.
Little did I know. So
Right.
It's just, and that kind of, as I've been getting back into the hobby, it's like, okay, so there's players that I collect that I know, which it doesn't matter the investment. Doesn't matter if I buy it high, buy it low. I'm happy with paying whatever I need to pay to get the card.
Sure.
But the other part of it is what happens when you buy a prospect type player, because you hear about that in baseball a lot. You know, you buy the prospects and, you never know who's coming up through the minors and whatever else. Well, football, it's kind of, I mean, who knows what's going to happen with Jarrett Stidham? People are buying his stuff really low right now because they have no idea with Tom Brady what could happen. So, and that's kind of what I'm kind of starting to figure out, I actually pulled last year. My wife bought me a box of Obsidian, and she loves that set. So, because she's a material science engineer, and Obsidian's a material, and she thought it was cool. Then she looked up the set checklist and liked the look of the cards, and I got this Saquon Barkley out of 10.
Oh, nice.
Well, this year I opened a box. Christmas, Daniel Jones.
Oh, wow.
So it seems like that set's usually pretty good to me as long as she buys it for me. Because if I buy it myself, it's a crapshoot.
Sure.
So it's kind of been, since I pulled the Wentz, it's been all in on it. And I haven't looked back. I haven't regretted anything. So, I mean, that's pretty much how I got started, and then the transitioning forward is you start and you kind of get the itch, and then you start scratching it, and then it's all over. So
you're
that's
saying
how I
that
got started for the most part, and I haven't looked back, haven't regretted anything yet.
Awesome. So you said for your wife, it's Obsidian. She really likes that. How about for you? Is there a product that you really gravitate towards, or?
So growing up, like I mentioned, that when I started collecting early, I mean, like you had Press Pass and Score and all, but now there's so many. I used to love the Press Pass because they had the die cuts and stuff in it. Mm-hmm. But right now, I think you can kind of see a similarity in some of the card refractors designs from that to what Select is. I love Select. It's clean. It's crisp. I like the look of the cards. But my second favorite would have to be probably a tie between Contenders Draft, at least what the 2018 product was. I like the vertical autos and the vertical cards more than the horizontal like they did this year. Mm-hmm. And I guess Immaculate. I love the Collegiate Immaculate cards.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna ask you if you.
So what?
I was going to ask you if you preferred just your Penn Staters in Penn State unis.
Oh, yeah. So most of my collection would be in their Penn State uniforms. A couple of them are in their pros, but I don't know. I want to have a whole setup of just them in their Penn State uniform, and then another setup of like the different proteins as well.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's a couple years down the line when I can have my own man cave and I'm not sharing the office with our pet rabbits.
Right.
But yeah, so, and I kind of regret not getting into the YouTube game sooner than what I did too. Because last year, before I started doing the recordings, I think I opened 4 boxes of the Contenders draft picks, and I pulled some great cards that would have had great content, would have gotten a ton of views, would have skyrocketed me and my following. I pulled a cracked ice Sam Darnold, a 101 Christian Kirk, a 101 Justin Jackson, and a whole bunch of other cards, but nobody got to see it.
Right.
That was just me and my buddy and my wife sitting down at the kitchen table with 4 boxes of Contenders, just cracking packs. And then I also got a box of Immaculate Collegiate last year because I was trying to hunt Saquon stuff, and
Yep.
It was horrible last year. I spent way too much money. But in my Immaculate box, I got a 14/23 Sam Darnold RPA, numbered to 15 Ezekiel Elliott rookie auto, or not rookie, but just vet auto patch. Like, it was a great box, and I'm thinking to myself, I started watching YouTube videos, and I'm like, I got to start recording this stuff.
Oh, I was going to ask you what made you decide, and that was kind of...
Yep.
Okay.
Well, that, and you know, the aspect of, okay, so I open a box of cards, and one of them's damaged.
Yep.
It's good to have that video proof of, look, guys, look Panini, look whoever tops, whatever upper deck. I didn't do this. This is how it came.
Yep.
You kind of get further if they can be like, okay, it's just not somebody pulling one over on us. It's this happened.
Yeah.
Also, I like sharing the experience with people, especially when I opened my Obsidian this year. I went and got it on release day. A lot of people hadn't seen the product yet because I looked earlier in the day, and I think I saw maybe 2 videos on YouTube of Obsidian, and they were both, I think, European breakers or something. So it was different. So I was like, I'd like to get my stuff out there so people can see, okay, this is what the card looks like, you know?
Yeah.
Not to mention, a lot of people that do breaks now, it's really fun that they get the cards they want, but then they're waiting a week for it to come in the mail.
Yep.
So if I just go to my LCS, I get the boxes, I bring them home, I open them, I can put them on eBay if I need to sell the card that day. So I'm the first on the market. I can kind of ask my price.
Right.
So that's why I kind of like to get my own stuff too. But it's nice to also do the breaks and have content for my channel as well. But I guess what got me into the collecting and doing the YouTube stuff is just sharing what I get, the excitement that I see or that I feel in a card that it might be this year's Daniel Jones, or it might have been last year's Saquon. But I get just as excited if I open a box and pull Miles Sanders because it's another Penn State running back.
Right.
May not be everybody's big go for this year, but it means something to me.
Yeah.
So it doesn't need to be an autograph. It can be a short printed card out of 99, whatever. I'm happy. I'm excited because that's a piece of me is in that card then at that point.
Right.
And it's not just because I like the player, I like the team. I went to Penn State. I watched these players play. I was in the student section. I saw Saquon hurdle a guy when Buffalo came here.
Yeah.
I was at the 2016 game when we blocked the field goal, and so I feel like there's a part of me in all of the cards that I personally collect, with them being Penn Staters, because I went there too. I had class with Mike Gesicki, who plays for the Dolphins.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Deshaun Hamilton, who plays for Denver. I had golf class with those guys. So
Awesome.
neither one of them are any good at golf. So
How about you? How about you, Mike?
I'm okay.
Okay.
Fortunately, I went back to college as an older adult, so I lived closer to campus. I have my own clubs. So my buddy and I would just go. We'd go take our golf class. We didn't schedule a class after that. So we'd take our golf class, then we'd go play around.
Oh, okay.
And then we'd go back to class.
Sure.
So yeah, it was fun. But YouTube in general, I think it's been a real outlet to show people the excitement and everything else that goes into why I collect what I collect, why you guys collect what you collect.
Right.
It puts a personal touch to every card.
Right. So
it's fun connecting with people that are like-minded, and because we all live in different cities and there ain't too many of us in our own cities, it's just hard. Like me and Kevin know like just a couple dudes in our own town, and it's so much fun to share with a bigger community than that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Say, I was wondering, you said you open stuff and you might not necessarily get the card you want, but you get stuff that you like. Well, have you ever found yourself, I'm going to get that card, and found yourself overpaying for anything, or?
So I didn't. I dabble here and there in different sets to try and see if I like them. Well, last year I wasn't sure about Majestic. Mm-hmm. So I didn't go buy a box. I figured I spent enough money chasing Saquon, trying to buy a box here and there, hoping I pull one, thinking it'll be cheaper than just going out and buying one.
Yep.
Some of his stuff is still ridiculously expensive. So, But last year, after Majestic came out, I saw a Rose Bowl patch, 1 out of 25 on eBay. Now, it was release day, so it was also the only one I found on eBay. And I'm like, I got to get it. So I talked to my wife, and I'm like, so here's the deal. And she's like, okay, well, how much is it worth? I'm like, I have not a clue. I mean, there's nothing else to compare it to. I ended up paying $520 for it.
Wow.
And later, I mean, I can look on there now, and there's probably a couple for $150, $200. So, but to me, it's still, I mean, I don't know if you guys can see my shirt or not.
Oh, yep. Smells like, yep.
It was a Rose Bowl patch. It was the first time we had been back to the Rose Bowl since 2009. So it was one of the top 3 or 4 games of the year in 2016, 2017. So I was like, I need that patch and that auto. It's a patch auto. I got to have it. So I overpaid a bit for it. But, it kind of washes out in the long run because there are other cards you can get great deals on as well. You just got to be patient and look on eBay. Mm-hmm. But I'm a little bit more impulsive sometimes, and I need to have it right now, and I don't want to wait. So I just
What did you say the number was on that card?
1 out of 25.
That's the eBay 101, man.
Exactly. That's sad. That's yep. Whether it be the bookend, the ones, or the 25 and 25, or it's the jersey number, or
right.
The guy's birthday, or whatever. Can't wait till that comes out. Well, he was born on January 7th. Awesome.
That's funny.
And I mean, that's another kind of side note is to some of the players I collect, like Kerry Collins. His birthday is December 30th, and so is mine. So there's an extra connection to some of these players.
Oh, yeah.
And although I don't collect basketball big, I had the same birthday as LeBron James as well. So it's kind of like there's an extra something there for the collecting purpose as well as I can connect to these players and otherwise. But yeah, that's pretty much the most I've ever paid for a card. You guys I told you about, selling a Patrick Mahomes for 30 and
right.
RPA for 40, and so people have gotten good deals off of me. I've overpaid for other cards. It's
sure. That's kind of funny. So I know one thing that Lauren and I have really been finding is just how great the community is and how much support you can get, and I know that you have a little story about that too, and maybe you could touch on it a little bit, because I know we're kind of just starting out in it, and we're finding even the little bit that we've been getting involved has just been amazing for us. So,
well, and you got to be careful as to who you trust in the hobby. I know it sounds harsh to say that, but there are a lot of people out there that are just looking to take your money and run, not send you the card they're supposed to. And I found myself in a great group of guys, a great group of collectors called the Card Family. So much so that it's more about family than it is the cardboard. My wife and I found out we were going to be having a little girl. And when that happens, Dad has to go to the baby shower most of the time, carry the gifts back to the truck, and there's nothing that much for him. Mommy gets all the stuff, the baby gets all the stuff, but Dad just kind of sits there in the corner and holds the wall. So I know you guys had Football Card Ollie on the show already.
Yep.
What he did was, I think it was out of his Brothers and Cards or Boom Box, whatever he got. He pulled a Saquon auto out of, I think, Playbook or Playoff.
Yep.
And he sent it to me with a onesie for the baby. And I felt so horrible accepting it. I appreciated it greatly. It will never leave my collection. That's a lot of these guys that in this community, we send cards to each other. We know who each other collects. And we try to add to their personal collection, put a part of us into their collection. So I really appreciated him doing that. I've had another guy. He doesn't collect much or do much of that anymore. He's kind of shifted towards other avenues of his life. But for a while, he was opening a lot of product. Because a PDX pack ripper. He got a whole case of Flawless and pulled a Saquon auto and a Saquon patch in his Penn State uniform. Now he could have asked the moon for him at the time. And instead, he's like, hey, look, I know you're a Penn State fan. I cut him a deal on a couple Oregon players I have because he's an Oregon fan. He's like, I'll tell you what, both these cards for $300. I know I'm not making my money back off of it, but I know you're going to appreciate them a lot more than I will.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's stuff like that. Or Thrice Aroni, Alan, over there, he sent me a Penn State diaper bag.
Oh, cool.
And a baby bib for when he found out I was having a child. So it's the community is there. We're more friends, family than we are collectors. And with social media the way it is anymore, it kind of shrinks the world a bit. And how you guys were saying there's not that many of you guys in your area that collect and that you guys can associate with on a daily basis. But here we are talking.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's no different than like YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, all of that. A couple guys in Washington that I collect with, I can easily just message them and, hey, look, I'm sending you something. Or, hey, look, do you have any of this? It's not, sending a snail mail letter anymore. It's, instantaneous sharing of ideas, information, and it really shrinks the world at the macro level. But when you look at all the different micro groups, the community of cardboard has really become, I think, a little bit closer. But you still have to pick and choose because you never know. You have to build that rapport with people, and the group of people that I'm in with, great bunch of guys. I mean, you've had Football Card Ollie on already. I know talking here before the interview, like Thrice Aroni, great guy. Cap, you guys had Capital P on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Great guy. So and when you get that rapport with people in that community, you're more willing to be like, hey, look, I know this card's worth X amount of dollars, but I don't need that. I want you to have it. Let's work something out so you can have it. I've cut people a break of like $100, $150 on a card that I knew I could sell for way more because that's who they collect. It's never going to leave their collection.
Right.
And I feel that's more important to me than the dollars and cents is contributing to something greater than just a profit margin. Because
Right.
a lot of the time you kind of lose the joy. If it's all about dollars and cents, you don't have the same appreciation for the player, the team, the product. It brings you into the family aspect of it, which is what a lot of these guys are about. I mean, at any given moment, I can message Football Card Ollie and be like, hey, I know he has kids. My kid's teething. What can I do? You've been through this.
Right. Exactly.
A lot of the guys in that group, they're all dads.
Yeah.
Troy Cerrone and myself and Football Card Ollie, we have this hashtag we started, Card Dads Stick Together. Because we've all been there. We've all, dealt with the 3 o'clock in the morning baby's up, 1 o'clock in the morning baby's up, whatever the case may be. How do you guys handle it? How much coffee did you have to drink that night to stay up?
Right.
So, and it makes it a little bit more fun to have that rapport with a lot of guys that have been in this situation, whether it be with kids, marriage, the loss of a loved one. It's just, It's nice to have that support for anybody who's going through anything outside of cardboard. And that's what I think this community is really meant to me, is having an outlet, having people to talk to about anything. Just cards happens to be the common denominator and everything we do. So it's always nice to do that. Yeah,
that's awesome. That's kind of what we're finding. When we first started, we had no clue what to expect. And by like the, I don't know, second or third person we talked to, we're like, wait a minute, we're building relationships here. We're not just, whatever we didn't. I guess we didn't know what to expect.
We didn't know what we were doing when
we
first started.
and sometimes we still don't know what we're doing. But yeah, that's awesome. Everything that you're saying right there is so true. Every day, you find yourself just chit-chatting with somebody that we've had on the show or interacted with on Instagram, and it's like, wow, this is really cool.
Yeah. Like, I'm sure the three of us will have a conversation, or you and me, or you and it will be completely unrelated.
What'll be funny is me and Kevin will have to say, hey, this is Lauren, by the way, or this is Kevin, because...
But the thing is, it could be about something completely uncard related. I can reach out to you guys on Instagram, we can talk. Yep. If it's a month down the road, a week, whatever. And that's what the community... I think the older generation, 25 and up, has seen.
Yeah, I think just since we started doing the show, a couple of our people that we've had interviewed, one's had a hernia surgery that we've talked about, and another one's had knee surgery. One guy had a toothache one time. I mean, and these are, like you say, completely not card-related conversations at all,
Yeah.
Yep. So, I mean, and that's the joy of why I've really gone from collecting as a kid to now collecting as an adult. I appreciate things more. Mm-hmm. And it's not just the cards. It's the relationships. It's some people I know. I offered a Football Card Ollie. I know he'd be driving from the Wisconsin area to the National, which is in Atlantic City this coming year.
Oh, yep.
Well, I live in central Pennsylvania, and I was like, hey, man, if you need a place to crash on your way, if you don't want to make that long drive straight through, it's a nice, you can spend the night at our house. We can host you for a night, and we can all just go the next day.
Oh, nice.
I've had offers, if I'm ever going to an away game for Penn State football, I have a place that I could probably crash in Ohio. I have a place in Minnesota that I could crash. Just, instead of it being I drive out there, fly out there for a game, and then fly right back, I can make a weekend out of it. Leave on Thursday or Friday, hang out for the game, watch some pro football on Sunday, leave after the game.
Nice, yeah.
I'm not rushed. I don't have to feel rushed and, there and back. I have, because of the community, I've met people all over the country that, because it's more than cards, they're more likely to, view you as an actual friend than just a commodity.
Right. Absolutely.
So it's really nice. I love that about getting back in at this point in my life.
Yeah.
After we get off of here, you'll have to send me your eBay username, because I wonder if I haven't bought cards off of you. I don't break product. I buy a lot. I used to buy a lot. I really kind of slowed down because we did a card show month and a half ago or whatever. And when I was getting ready for it, I was going, this is ridiculous. You need to quit buying so many.
Yeah.
Because I'm a Minnesota Viking collector. That's all I collect. And whenever I buy, 99-cent bids, open up bidding, and I win a bunch of cards that even at 99 cents. So when I started sorting to get ready, I just put them in their box. My Delvin Cook box, my Adam Thielen box, my Stephon Diggs box. And then I'm going through and I'm actually sorting through. I'm like, oh, damn, I got this many of this card, So I put the brakes a bit on my buying, but I wonder if I haven't bought something.
You guys freeze?
Oh yeah, there we go. We're back. Yeah.
Okay, we're good.
All right. Well, I think we covered a lot of great stuff, and we want to start this new thing. It kind of brings everything to a close. We call it 3 quick questions. We're just gonna fire them at you. You answer them, and then we're gonna bring everything to a close. But if you stay on the phone for just a second, we'll talk to you for a minute after. We just want to say thanks for coming on. And
okay.
Are you ready for the 3 quick questions?
Let's go.
All right. Question number 1. What's your favorite food?
Chinese food.
All right. Awesome. Favorite time of the year?
Football season, so fall.
Fall. Okay, cool. And favorite movie ever?
The Boondock Saints.
Very good.
It's
very
kind of
good.
a cult following. It's not major mainstream, but I love those movies.
Awesome.
That has a good old the crossbow guy from The Walking Dead. I can't think of his name right now. Yeah, Daryl. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us. We're going to bring episode 56 to a close with Mike, PSU Mike on YouTube, and PSU Imler30 on Instagram. If you're not already, follow him and subscribe to him. Great stuff.
Skol Brothers out.
See you guys.